The news you need starts right now, only on Fox Montana.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emily Scarlett. Hundreds of Big Sky high schoolers staying home on this Friday, and not just to enjoy a long weekend. With officials discovering bomb and shooting threats on campus, many students played it safe. Yesterday, parents received phone calls about the threats, which were discovered by a janitor on a bathroom wall Monday. Police say officers stood guard at the school entrances this morning as students entered, and extra officers were walking through the halls as well as patrolling the neighborhood. They say they've also interviewed students and faculty about the incident.
Obviously, if we can still determine who's responsible for the graffiti, we want to do that. Not so much to hold them accountable for the graffiti, but to see what their potential is to carry out these threats that they've made public.
Police say they still have no suspects connected to the incident. School officials say students were allowed to stay home, although regular classes were still held. A 19-year-old Great Falls male already in police custody for allegedly assaulting underage girls, now facing 5 more felony rape charges. Thursday, Cascade County prosecutors charged 19-year-old Christian Underdahl with 3 counts of sexual intercourse without consent and 2 counts of sexual assault for repeated sexual contact with 1 or more girls between the ages of 12 and 13. Last November, Underdahl was convicted in youth court for sexual intercourse without consent and placed on probation until the age of 21, but after one 14-year-old girl reported that he also allegedly raped her repeatedly in late March, 3 more counts were added. He remains jailed on $350,000 bail. All right, moving into weather, Chief Meteorologist Ted King is here with the first look at our forecast.
All right, Friday night is here, and so is pretty decent weather. Nice night out there. And let's take a look at what's going on. We just have some clouds across the region. No rainfall in central Montana. All the activity down to our south. There is a chance for a shower or a thunderstorm through the overnight hours. Not a very good chance, and the best chance will be across southern areas. Winds light and variable. Got up to 88 today in Great Falls, 87 for Helena. Not quite as warm tomorrow, but still not a bad day. Tell you all about it in a little while. Emily?
Thanks, Ted. With more rain on the way this weekend, it's appropriate that September is National Preparedness Month. And as reporter Catherine McKnight reports, the goal is making sure families, neighborhoods, and communities are as prepared as they can be for potential disasters.
You never know when a disaster is going to happen. You're going to need to have things ready.
Disasters can strike without warning.
A lot of times you don't have a lot of time to get things together.
That's why it's important to have an emergency kit packed and ready.
If you have a kit that's ready to go, you're not frantic. Usually when you're trying to leave your house in a hurry, a lot of people are frantic and they don't really know what to get.
Here in Big Sky Country, we have a beautiful playground as our backyard. But along with that comes unpredictable weather.
When weather conditions cause significant problems, most important is listen to local authorities. They may recommend shelter in place, or they may recommend going to evacuation center.
And in the event you must evacuate, you'll want to be sure you have everything you need to survive that disaster, including a radio.
The most important reason to have a radio that can get your local weather and everything is just so you're staying informed as to what's happening in your area with the disaster.
Make sure you can receive information even if you're under those impacted circumstances.
The ability to have access to watches and warnings is key in an emergency.
When the National Weather Service is issuing warnings, we're saying that there is something imminent that could be causing a threat to life and property.
You'll also want blankets, a first aid kit, and a light source.
There's a lot of times that disasters have power outages. Being able to see keeps you safe.
One of the good things about having the kit is it's one less worry you have to have in a disaster.
Meanwhile, the National Guard working to rescue an entire Colorado town today as the state continues dealing with the worst flooding it's seen in about 3 decades. Amid a flooding crisis of unprecedented proportions, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper urging residents in affected areas to stay vigilant and off the roads. Up to 8 inches of rain has fallen in an area spanning from the Wyoming border south to the foothills west of Denver. In Boulder, the rainfall is record-breaking. Thousands have been evacuated and more than a dozen people remain unaccounted for. So far, the flooding is being blamed for at least 3 deaths, and forecasters are predicting even more rain to come. High-stake talks aimed at removing Syria's chemical weapons enter a second day in Geneva, while Russia and Syria are pressuring the Obama administration to remove the threat of military action Behind the scene work continues on Capitol Hill to garner support for the use of force if necessary. Secretary of State John Kerry describing talks to dismantle Syria's chemical weapons as constructive, and discussions could revive plans to hold an international conference aimed at finally ending the Syrian civil war. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has insisted the U.S. should now remove any threat of military action after the Syrian pledge to join the convention. But while the negotiations continue, so does the war. And there are reports Bashar al-Assad is using the time to hide and remove his weapon stash. Your top health headlines this week include a chickenless egg product possibly hitting grocery stores near you, and new tests that may be able to detect breast cancer before it even develops. Here's your Fox Health Fix.
Artificial plant-based eggs are coming to a grocery store near you. Hampton Creek Foods, makers of the chickenless egg product, say the food was created to provide a low-cost, environmentally friendly alternative to developing countries, but it's also appealing to vegans and those worried about cholesterol. A new test can detect breast cancer as much as 10 years before it develops. Foresight uses a pump to collect cells from the duct of the breast where most cancers form. Very early changes in the cells can be identified so patients can take preventative measures. New research shows obesity increases the risk of migraines. Episodic migraines, or headaches that occur less than every other day, are almost twice as common among those who are overweight. Doctors say diet and exercise, along with monitoring medications, can help reduce the risk.
It's Friday, so as you put together your weekend plans, our own Joe Moeller has some exciting events to choose from in Helena.
It will be a fun-filled weekend in Helena with a variety of events going on Saturday the 14th. First off, Queen City Ballet Company's Dancing with the Helena Stars is tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Gateway Center.
Well, Dancing for the Stars is Queen City Ballet's third annual fundraiser for the Queen City Ballet Company. Well, the professionals are members of our company, dancers that have trained here that go on to professional careers or go on to dance in college, and they dance with prominent members of our community.
Another choice is the opening of the 59th season of the Helena Orchestra, taking place at the Civic Center at 7 p.m., where over 1,400 spectators are expected. Governor Steve Bullock is not only attending, but he's also a part of the show, doing a narration.
We're opening with some incredible works. It's called Heroic Portraits, and Governor Steve Bullock is the guest artist. He'll be narrating a work by American composer Aaron Copland that's for narrator and orchestra about the words by Lincoln and about Lincoln.
Another fun choice is the Hells Bells roller derby match against Missoula at the Lewis and Clark County Fairgrounds, also starting at 7 p.m.
It's kind of a bit of a grudge match. They're coming after us hard, and we're looking forward to a really great game. So we're going to be opening up the doors at 6 o'clock, and the bout will start at 7.
You definitely have your choices in Helena this weekend. Maybe you choose the Helena Symphony here at the Civic Center.
Or maybe catch Dancing with the Stars Helena.
Or you can come catch roller derby.
But we can't forget it's Carroll Homecoming Weekend, and the homecoming game is tomorrow at 1 p.m. against Montana Tech here at Nelson Stadium. So whatever your choice may be tomorrow, you'll definitely have a good time here in Helena. From Helena, Joe Moeller, ABC Fox, Montana.
Well, Ted, before we can get to the weekend, we have to get through tonight,
Yikes.
Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Experts say more than 20 million people are afraid of this so-called unlucky day. But one Cleveland Clinic psychologist says it really comes down to this. If you consider Friday the 13th or the number 13 lucky, you're probably more of a risk taker or thrill seeker, whereas Friday the 13th fears are really just about superstition. You superstitious, Ted?
Not really. I am a little paranoid, but I wouldn't be so paranoid if everyone weren't against me, you know. Like,
well, is there anything to be afraid of weather-wise?
No, nothing to be afraid of weather-wise. Things looking pretty nice. Actually, Friday the 13th turned out very, very nicely, especially compared to last Friday. Things looking pretty nice. There's a chance for a shower. I'll tell you all about that. And a pretty good-looking weekend coming up after the break.
Well, I agree. It's been a pretty good day, and I bet it'll get even better. We've got Kindred Original live in the studio. They'll be performing for us later in the show, so stick around.
Your Weather Authority forecast right now, only on Fox Montana.
Good evening, everyone. So glad you're with us on this Friday the 13th, and the weather turning out a whole lot better than last Friday, as we've just had a couple of showers south and west of Helena. They're gone right now, and we may see a shower through the overnight hours, but nothing going on across our region right now. Still pretty warm, temps in the mid-70s, 67 at Cutbank, 75 Great Falls, 76 in Helena. Cloud cover out there, acting sort of like a blanket, preventing the heat from escaping into space. So, a mild night overnight tonight. Some showers down to our south and east, and also down to our south and west, having big trouble making it to the north. And maybe a shower or two through the overnight hours, but that's about it. Big batch of moisture across the central Rockies and moving on into our area. The deepest moisture, however, staying to the south with a weak area of low pressure that's drifting to the north. There's that little weakness in eastern Colorado allowing for all that rainfall that they've had there, and that weakness will continue with the deep moisture staying to the south. And this area of low pressure, as it moves north tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend, it will sort of die on out. This area of high pressure will take over, so it'll prevent that deep moisture from getting here. So really not a bad day tomorrow. Maybe a shower earlier in the day, but increasing sunshine later on. More clouds and a little better chance for a shower across our southern areas. And by late Sunday, this area of low pressure, a pretty potent system off the west coast, will be sitting there. It's more of an autumn-like system, the first one of the season. This will move on into our area midweek, cooling things down by Wednesday. But until then, some pretty good weather going on across central Montana tonight. A shower or thunderstorm possible. Most of you won't see one tonight. Otherwise, skies will be mostly cloudy with mild lows, generally in the mid-50s, some upper 40s in the normally cooler communities. Partly and mostly sunny tomorrow. A shower or thunderstorm possible. Best chance will be across southern sections. Don't go canceling your outdoor plans. It looks pretty nice, actually, with temperatures in the 70s to around 80. Rocky Mountain front, a few clouds around tonight, temps in the upper 40s and low 50s. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, mild, temps in the 70s. And the high line tonight, nice night with a few clouds around 50s and low 60s. Good looking day tomorrow. A little on the breezy side, temps in the 70s. And the next 7 days, here's what we have for you. There's just a slight chance for that shower tomorrow. Really a good looking day. Sunday and Monday looking mighty fine. Then you see that system. You see by Wednesday, temps only in the upper 60s as that system from the Pacific moves on in. And you see, again, a little warmer after that. And we'll be right back after the break.
We're so happy to have Kindred Original live in the studio. This is frontman Rick Hattenpa, accompanied by Jim Moe and Jimmy Brummett. So you actually originate from Minnesota.
Correct, yep.
Tell us about how the band got started.
Probably early 80s, right around the Minneapolis area. My brother and I, Ray, 2 years older than myself, played for quite a few years in the Minneapolis area.
Very cool. You've got some performances coming up right here in Great Falls.
Yes, yep. Machinery Row on October 19th. Tomorrow we'll be at Hastings Bookstore and Music Store.
Perfect. All right, tell us about your new album, Blood Thicker Than Water.
Well, actually, we threw together a new song. We're going to play that last time out tonight, but hope to do a full album by 2014.
All right, well, what are you playing for us tonight, right now?
This is going to be American Eyes coming up.
All right, excited to hear it. Take it away, guys.
All right, thank you. Up to the sky, building bridges, they say they'll never die. But a lot of teachers don't live by their rules, and there's been a lot of preachers turning
music. That sounded great. I know the performances you all will have in Great Falls will be even better, I'm sure. Where can people get your music if they'd like to hear more?
Well, tomorrow I'll be at Hastings Music and Bookstore, 1 to 3 o'clock.
Perfect.
Having some CDs on
So
sale.
glad to have you on. You'll hear more of them later in the show. Stick around. Dan Quartz is up next with sports.
Total sports coverage. Fox Montana Sports starts right now.
Good evening, Montana. I'm Dan Quartz, and here is your evening sports fix. A matchup that fans have been looking forward to since the double overtime semifinal thriller that took place back in November and saw the Butte Bulldogs come out victorious over the CMR Rustlers. A little luster might be lost with the Rustlers in danger of starting 0-3 as they welcome the Bulldogs tonight to Memorial Stadium. Rustlers looking to make it 2 straight losses for the defending champs. We go first quarter. Dallas Cook, last year's MVP, he's going to find Dalton Dam for the 15-yard gain right there. And now it's going to be, they'll get it inside the 10-yard line. 3rd and goal now, and Connor Lee will get the handoff, and he's going to just bulldoze his way in. Ball breaks the plane. Penalty at the end of the play would come for an unsportsmanlike conduct. Butte led 7-0 nonetheless. Now, CMR 1st and 10 at the 27. Jace McLean finding Andrew Grindy, and it takes many Bulldogs to bring him down. 12-yard gain. CMR would eventually score and tie the game at 7. Second quarter, now Butte on the Butte 19, and McLean, he's going to keep this himself for the touchdown. CMR went up 14-7. Last we had, third quarter tied at 21. Great Falls taking a trip to Skyview to play the Falcons. Toga, they wanted to become 2-1. Great Falls having trouble moving the ball as Jordan Wilkins gets sacked by Justin Keeling. Bison with 1 first down in the entire first half. Alex Pacici would run wild for the Falcons, 2-yard TD run, and he was just getting started along with the rest of the Falcons' run game. They'll go to Riley Barta. He's going to cut outside for the 15-yard score. No point, the extra point no good, 13-0 Skyview. And now back to Pacici, bullying it in from 5 yards out, touchdown. Put up 20-0. Falcons now again, and Pacici just once again cannot be brought down. Great Falls had a nightmare tackling him. That would set up another touchdown. 3rd one of the half for Pacici. Skyview would win this 34-6. 660 yards passing, 333 to 1 receiver, and 40 points. Those were the numbers that the Grizz defense allowed in their trip to the Alaris Center last season in the 34 loss to North Dakota. On the wrong side of many records that were broken that afternoon, the Grizz are back in action tomorrow and have had an extra week to prepare for the Fighting Sioux's aerial attack this time around. Sean Rainey has more.
When the Grizzlies face North Dakota on Saturday, they will be looking for revenge. UND set Big Sky records for passing yards in the game with 660, and Greg Harden set a record with 330 yards all by himself. For the defense, this is a pride game.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about trying to forget last year, there's a lot of things that we don't want to remember. But with that being said, we haven't forgotten, what they did last year, and it's definitely in the forefront of our minds. We don't want to have a repeat, of what happened last year. So we're looking forward to the game.
If the Grizz want to win, they will have to slow down the quick number 84.
Their offense, Greg Harden is a dynamic player. He's very quick. He's very, very fast. He's got a ton of explosive big plays. That's why he's got all the yards he does, and that's why he's a preseason All-American.
They do want to throw the ball, get the ball to the playmakers. They have a very good wide receiver, number 84, Greg Harden, and he is able to make some very big plays. They're just trying to get the ball out to him.
One thing the Grizz will look to exploit is a UND defense that struggles stopping the run. They gave up nearly 300 yards on the ground last week, and Montana can run the ball with the best of them.
We're looking at them, they let up, I think, something like 290 yards rushing last week. So, we're going in with expecting to be able to run the ball. We definitely have some stuff going in that we're looking to take advantage of with Coach K cooking it up. So,
one important note to remember, although North Dakota is a member of the Big Sky, this game will not count as a conference match. In Missoula, Sean Rainey, ABC Fox Montana Sports.
With the Bobcats down a few key players, most notably quarterback Denarius McGee, Montana State coaches are obviously expecting someone to step up starting tomorrow when the Bobcats welcome the Mavericks of Colorado Mesa. Jeff Eberle tells us that even down players, the Cats need to be ready to fill the voids tomorrow afternoon.
That's the one thing I don't question about Jake is his maturity level. He's And again, he's steady Eddie. He's always in the right spot. He always has the right answer. Every time we see him in the practice field and put him in tough situations, he's always responded.
Jake Bleskin is still the talk of the town in Bozeman. So many questions surround the redshirt sophomore. Will he produce like Denarius? But Bleskin and McGee are more similar than different.
I don't feel like I bring anything different than him. You know, we both play quarterback, and I feel like we both make good reads. I don't really see any differences besides the fact that the scheme of things might be different.
Jake throws the ball beautifully. I think it'll be fun for everybody to watch Jake Bleskin throw the ball around on Saturday, because he does it in great style. Like Coach Cramsey says, he can spin it.
With all the attention on Jake Bleskin, none of the focus is on the Cats' defense, which has played well the first 2 games.
I think we're all playing together very well, and everyone's flying to the ball. I think it's all the expectations that all the coaches wanted.
Boy, I think the defense has done great. I'm very happy with what Jamie Marshall and those guys have put together. You know, I have always had great confidence in Coach Marshall, but this year, going in with all the linebackers being down and then Preston Gale getting hurt, it's like, okay, are we going to be able to pull it off again? And the answer is yes.
In Bozeman, Jeff Eberly, ABC Fox Montana Sports.
Hey, that's it for sports. We're back after this.
Dan, you've got an update for us on that CMR game.
I do, and it's not good for the home team. Dallas Cook with an 81-yard touchdown run. Butte is now up 31-21. They have played 3 quarters. Maybe the Rustlers get back in it somehow, but Butte in control.
There's still time, right? We'll
Yes.
see how things work out. All right, Ted, tell us how things are looking for the weekend.
Well, just a slight chance for a shower overnight tonight. Tomorrow not looking too bad. Slight chance for a shower southern sections, but all in all, things looking good. Sunday really looking like a good day.
Perfect. All right, well, what a great finish to the week. How fantastic has Kindred Original been in the studio?
They've had the guts in the entire show.
That's right.
Awesome.
Well, before we go, we leave you with more of Kindred Original. They're actually going to be playing a brand new song they've been working on called Would You Be Mine. Have a fantastic weekend.
If I had nothing but time, you'd be mine. Oh, would you be mine? Here I'm running out of breath. Just a fraction between life and death. If I stumble, if I fall, would that be all?